Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel I take you around and show you all the different things that I'm doing, mostly revolving around cooking and all the various things that we're doing to turn our home into a homestead. So come along with me today and I'm going to show you the first time ever that I have either made or tasted corned beef. Should be a pretty interesting experience. I'm taking this recipe kind of inspiration from Homestead Family, just kind of the technique of making it, because her video was the only one that I could find anywhere, or any blog or anything that didn't put it in the fridge. And almost every recipe that I found called for like a pink salt that had nitrites and things in it, and I didn't want to use any of that. So I'm just kind of taking her way of doing it, but kind of making it my own with my own spices and things like that. So we have a big old brisket here. And then what we're going to do is we're in a pot, we're going to put about a quart of water, and we're going to add to it about a quarter of a cup of just pickling spice. And we're going to throw in some thyme, a little more black peppercorns. I'm sure there's black peppercorns in here, but I'm going to add more of my own. A few bay leaves, some ground ginger, and of course some minced, or not minced, but powdered garlic. So there we go. Okay, so we got about a quart of water. And then we have about a quarter of a cup of pickling spice. So we're gonna guess here maybe a teaspoon of peppercorns. And then the pepper. And then let's go with a teaspoon of thyme. And then maybe a heaping third teaspoon, only because I don't have a half a teaspoon on this ring here, of the ground ginger. And then, because it's garlic, we'll go ahead and do about, that's a teaspoon, so maybe like just a heaping teaspoon of garlic. And then let's throw in 1, 2, I got 3 little ones and 1 big one. And so then with this, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this onto the stove, and I'm gonna go ahead and warm it up. I forgot salt. And this type of cooking, from what I understand, is kind of like a salt cured meat, sort of. So it takes a lot of salt, a whole cup. So a little more than a cup in this one. So all we're gonna do with this is just stir it and warm it up. That's all. No, I think I'm gonna cook it just a little bit. I think I'm gonna cook it for about 5 minutes and see if that will help kind of bring out the flavors and all of the spices and things like that. Just kind of let it marinate in its own self for a little bit longer. I didn't actually time that, but I think that was probably about 3 or 4 minutes. So that should probably be good. On to the next step. So we have our brine here. It's all nice and warmed up. And so all we're gonna do is add in another quart of water. And when this has cooled down to like kind of a room temperature, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys back and we'll take it for the next step. Okay, so the brine mixture has cooled off enough, and I poured a little bit in this other bowl just to kind of help it to cool down quicker. So now we're going to put the brisket in the bowl. I'm really hoping this bowl will be sufficient. Oh, I think it will. Yay! That's exciting. It's rising. Darn it. Okay. So I think we're going to have to leave a plate for a couple of days. I'm going to have to put one on top of here. That's stuck with this kind of plate. So I'm just going to put this in here. I think that'll hold it down. All right, so we have this all wrapped up and covered with the plate, and the meat is completely submerged underneath the brine. And so what I'm gonna do with this is I'm just gonna leave it in a cool place, or possibly even, I might put it in the fridge. We'll see how it goes. And we're gonna let it go. If I leave it out of the fridge, it's gonna be about 3 days or so. And if I put it in the fridge, it's gonna be about 10 days. So I will bring you back when we're all done. I'll let you know what I had the guts to actually do, and we'll go from there and cook up a little bit of the corned beef. So we'll see you then. But welcome back. It's been probably about 2 weeks or so. Yeah, 2 weeks exactly since we put this in the fridge. You don't need to put it in there for that long, but that's just how my schedule worked, and so that's what we ended up with. Smells good. No weird funky smell. Okay. All right. So you can, if you wish, you have the option. From what I read, Nourishing Traditions way of cooking this is that you can consume it raw, but I might set aside a little piece just to try, but I'm gonna cook most of it. And we're gonna do that in a big stock pot with just some water, and we're gonna cook it for several hours actually. I think it said 2 to 2.5 hours. You wanna do it until it's fork tender. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this, we're gonna dump out all of the spices and the brine, just gonna put it right in the sink. And then after that, we're gonna rinse it off to get all the salt off of it, and then we're gonna boil it. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do, I got it all rinsed off as much as I could. These spices are like just embedded into this fat, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that off. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off a little piece and I'm gonna try it raw. And by little, I mean little. Oh yay, it retained its color. Okay. Woo! Chewy and salty. Amazing flavor though. I'm really looking forward to having this. And I'm gonna cut off more for later. Okay, where am I gonna cut it from? I'm gonna go here. Yep. Totally can't see that, sorry. Okay, so now just into the pot, we're gonna fill it up with water and boil the heck out of it. Just for clarification on one thing that was specified in the Nourishing Traditions cookbook is making sure that the beef has been properly handled. It has, you really want to do grass-fed. I personally would never consume raw meat that was not grass-fed and properly cared for. And then another thing is, there's something else. Properly handled. Oh, and also that it had been frozen long enough to kill any potential parasites that could be in there. This brisket in particular was frozen for over a year. So frozen solid constantly for over a year. So I'm not concerned in any way about consuming that raw, which is why I'm setting aside more over here. And so just wanted to throw that in there in case you had any ideas on that. I think I'm gonna want more than that. There we go. Okay, this I will cook. So, according to nourishing traditions, with this you want to boil. It says to boil it, so I'm just going to bring it up to a boil on high. I'm probably going to reduce it to about medium and cook it until it's fork tender. And I'll let you know how long that took. Right now, cold water is 425. So if I forget to actually track it later on, I'll just put it in the words and all that fun stuff. So the corned beef has been cooking for about 2 hours and 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that. And it appears that it's ready. So let's find out. Okay. I don't even know how to dig into this thing. Okay, let's see what we got here. I should get a plate.
Looks good.
It's kind of pink inside. Nothing crazy. But yeah. I've never had corned beef before in my life, except for that raw one that I ate earlier today. You try it?
Yeah, sure.
This one's less fatty.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
supposed to be on camera for that.
It's good. It's very good. Let's eat. I'll be right at the table for you.
I am definitely a fan of corned beef. This is so good. You have got to give it a try. It cuts down, boiling it definitely cuts down on some of the salt flavor, a little bit of the spicy flavor, or the spices flavor rather, but it still has plenty of flavor. It is definitely not just your everyday average beef. It's so good. Oh my gosh. So we are gonna get ready and we are gonna go ahead and have this for dinner tonight. I'm gonna have it with some sauerkraut, and my husband's gonna have it with some baked potatoes or some mashed potatoes. So we're gonna get to it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or if you learned anything, go ahead and remember to give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.